ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसन्न्यासयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य च हृषीकेश पृथक् केशिनिषूदन। श्रीभगवानुवाच काम्यानां कर्मणां न्यासं सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः। त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यमिति चापरे निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागे भरतसत्तमा त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्रः व्याघ्र त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञो दानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम् एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम् नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागः तामसः परिकीर्तितः दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत् स कृत्वा राजसं त्यागं नैव त्यागफलं लभेत् कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म नियतं क्रियतेऽर्जुन सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव सत्यागः सात्विको मतः न द्वेष्ट्य कुशलं कर्म कुशलेनानुषज्यते त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो मेधावी छिन्न संशयः न हि देहभृता शक्यं त्यक्तुं कर्माण्यशेषतः यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते अनिष्टमिष्टं मिश्रं च त्रिविधं कर्मणः फलं भवत्यत्यागिनां प्रीत्य न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित् पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो कारणानि निबोध मे सांख्ये कृतान्ते प्रोक्तानि सिद्धये सर्वकर्मणाम् अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता करणं च पृथक्विधं विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टा दैवं चैवात्र पञ्चमम् शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्यत् कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः। ॐ तत्सत्।
So we didn't do Manana, but should we do the Satvika Tyaga, then do the Manana,
Actually,
all three of them?
yeah, what I suggest, there's not
Mm.
much of reading for Tamasa and Rajasa as well. So we
Right.
go through those two and then continue with the Satvika thing.
Okay, fine. No problem. Mm. This is after this one. That must be slogan number. The Satyaga, Dhamma Satyaga. Okay. From here, right? No. Okay. I'll read from this paragraph here. This is Bhagavan's final conclusion, and there is no doubt. Am I? Oh, yeah, unmuted. This is Bhagavan's final conclusion, and there is no doubt about the fact that yajna, dana, and tapas should not be given up unless you have antakarana shuddhi. Once you have been freed from the hold of raga dveshas, you can give up all karmas and do whatever you like. Your prarabdha karma will take care of you. If you feel like giving up all karmas, there is no problem. Sannyasa will stick to you, but you cannot give them up just because they are painful. Giving up the painful and going for the pleasant is not in the end a pleasant thing because there is no antakarana shuddhi. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Niyatasya sanyasah karmano nopapadyate mohatasya parityagas tamasaha parikirtitaha. Two, but niyatasya karmanaha of enjoined action, sanyasaha renunciation, na upapadyate is not proper. Mohat out of delusion, tasya parityaga renunciation of it, tamasaha parikirtitaha is called tamasika. But renunciation of enjoined action is not proper. Renunciation of it, enjoined action out of delusion is called tamasika. I'll read this one more time. But renunciation of enjoined action is not proper. Renunciation of it, the enjoined action out of delusion, is called tamasika. Tamasa tyaga. Niyata karmas are those that are enjoined by the Vedas to be done obligatorily. Okay. Again, niyata karmas are those that are enjoined by the Vedas to be done obligatorily. The nitya and naimittika karmas, giving them up, tasya sannyasa, is not proper. Na upapatyate. Shankara says here, because they are desirable for the purification of the one who does not know. If someone who is ignorant gives up this niyata karma under the spell of likes and dislikes, ragadveshas, that sannyasa is not proper, because for such a person it is desirable to have a means for purification, and the nitya naimittika karmas are the means. If because of some delusion, moha, some fascination or romanticism about sannyasa, he gives up his daily prayers, etc., that giving up is called tamasika. Tamasaha parikirtitaha. So many karmas are mentioned in the Vedas because karmas can purify the antakarana. Sannyasa is not totally dismissed here. Only the renunciation of enjoined karma is dismissed. Once you say it is enjoined, to renounce it is a contradiction. Why can it not be given up? Because it is enjoined. Sannyasa is possible if you are ready for it, but it is the exception, not the rule. The sannyasa out of moha is called tamasa sannyasa. So the sannyasa out of moha is called tamasa sannyasa. Now he tells about the rajasa sannyasa. Should we do manana after each one, or how do you want to do it, Dr. Pramila?
Yeah, either way is fine.
Okay.
I think we can read all the three and then we can.
Do it. Okay. That's better. Okay. Dukkam, dukkam iti eva yat karma kaya klesha bhayatayet sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga palam labet. Yat karma, the karma which kaya klesha bhayat, out of fear of affliction to his physical body, dukkam eva, as indeed painful, iti, thus, tyajit, yajit, yajit, yajit is one may give up.
Tyajit.
Tyajit, okay, sorry. Tyajit, one may give up. Saha, he, Rajasam, Rajasika, Rajasika. Tyagam, renunciation. Kritva, having done. Tyagapalam, the result of renunciation. Naeva labit, would certainly not gain. So, yat karma, kaya klesha bhayat, dukkam eva, iti yajit, how do you say that? Yajit, right? Tyajit.
Tyajit.
Yajit. Saha rajasam tyaham kritva tyagapalam na eva labet. One may give up the karma as indeed painful out of fear of affliction to his physical body. So, one may give up the karma as indeed painful out of fear of affliction to his physical body. Having done that Rajasika renunciation, he would certainly not gain the result of renunciation. So I'll read this one more time. One may give up the karma as indeed painful out of fear of affliction to his physical body. Having done that Rajasika renunciation, he would certainly not gain the result of renunciation. Rajasatyaga. Why would one give up the niyata karma? Because it is painful. Getting up early in the morning daily to do karma is not an easy thing. Out of fear of affliction to his physical body, kaya klesha bayat, he would give it up. Sorry, my tongue is twisting here. Tyajat. What kind of tyaga has this person done in giving up the niyata karma in this manner? So, what kind of tyaga has this person done in giving up the niyata karma in this manner? Rajasam tyaga, a tyaga born of rajas, born of sheer desire. Having done this kind of renunciation, he would not gain the result of renunciation. Tyaga palam nalabet. Generally, Shankara takes sannyasa as preceded by jnana, or at least viveka. For that sannyasa, the result is moksha. It is meant for moksha. If he gives up all karmas with this motivation, that is, of avoiding the affliction to the physical body, he is not living a life of sannyasa. He is lazy and will certainly not gain the result of renunciation. Having shown both tamasa and rajasa tyaga, Bhagavan now tells us what characterizes sattvika tyaga. You want me to read again, or you guys are okay with that?
So okay, we have read it no last time also.
Okay. You want me to read it again? I'm sorry, I didn't get it. You're okay? Okay.
No, go further, continue.
Okay, good. Thank you. Karyamityeva, sorry. Karyamiti eva. Okay. Karyam iti eva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sankam tyaktva palam chaiva satyagaga satviko mataha. Arjuna, O Arjuna, karyam iti eva, thinking it is to be done. Yat, which, niyatam karma, the enjoined karma, sangam, attachment, palamcha, and also the result, tyaktva, giving up, kriyate, is done, sa tyaga eva, that renunciation alone, satvika mataha, is considered satvika. So Arjuna karyam iti eva yat niyatam karma sangam palamcha tyaktva kriyate sa tyagaha eva satvika mataha. It is to be done, thinking thus, when only the enjoined karma is done, giving up attachment and result. O Arjuna, it is considered to be a satvika renunciation. Satvika renunciation. So, it is, I will read this again. It is to be done, thinking thus, when only the enjoined karma is done, giving up attachment and result. O Arjuna, it is considered to be a satvika renunciation. So, satvika tyaga. Niyatam karma is the karma that is enjoined by the Shastra as a thing to be done, necessarily, not optionally. This includes all duties, both scriptural and secular. Vaidika and Laukika. And for those karmas to be sattvika, they must be done with a certain attitude. It is to be done karyamiti. The only purpose in doing this type of karma is obeying the mandate of the Shastra that is to be done. Although it is done for antakarna shuddhi, antakarna shuddhi, that is not really considered another purpose because, as we have seen, it is yourself. Further, it is done giving up attachment to the very ritual, sangam tyaktva. Generally, a ritual is done with the thinking, I am doing this. And in this kind of doing, there is egotism, ahankara involved. Instead of that, when the thinking is, this is to be done by me, therefore I do it, then this what they call surrender. At this time and place, this action is necessary. It has got to be done. So it has got to be done. I have no choice in this. Let it be an offering to Ishvara. Doing action with this attitude is Sattvika Tyaga. So giving up the result, Phala Tyaga, means it is not done for the sake of punya or fame or power. An action done without those motives, purely for antakarna shuddhi and Ishvara Preeti, to please the Lord, is the one in which the result, phala, has been given up. Karma is not given up, only the karma phala, that is considered to be a sattvika yaga. In Rajasa and Tamasa Tyaga, giving up karma is involved due to fear of doing action. One is due to fear of doing action or delusion. But here, karma is done and the result, karma phala, is given up. Shankara makes a note here that he has told us that the Nitya karmas do have a result. Bhagavan himself has said so. He reminds us of this because there is a contention that Nitya Naimitya karmas do not produce results but ought to be done because in not doing them you incur fault. Akarane pratyavaya. That is not true. All karmas, including Nitya Naimitya karmas, produce results. That is why they can be given up. The Nitya Naimitya karmas will produce punya, all right, but you have no desire for that type of punya and are not doing them with that intention, sankalpa. Your expressed intention is only for antakarna shuddhi. So here, this paragraph I'll read one more time. You want to clarify whether Nitya Naimitya karma produce result, not produce result. They mentioned a couple of things here. Shankara makes a note here that he has told us that the Nitya karmas do have a result. Bhagavan himself has said so. He reminds us of this because there is a contention that Nitya Naimitya karmas do not produce results but ought to be done because in not doing them you incur fault. Akarane pratyavaya. Akarane pratyavaya. That is not true. All karmas, including Nitya Naimitya karmas, produce results. That is why they can be given up. The Nitya Naimitya karmas will produce punya, all right. But you have no desire for that type of punya and are not doing them with that intention, sankalpa. Your expressed intention is only for antakarna shuddhi. Then he presents the other stand, seemingly accepting this argument of akarane pratyavaya to make the same point. An uninformed person may do a karma thinking that even though result for a nitya karma is not mentioned in the Shruti, still the nitya karma that is done creates the result for oneself of purification of the mind or removal of the ill effects of not doing it. So one is for the purification of the mind, the other one is or removal of ill effects of not doing the nitya karma. If he gives up even that, Shankara says that is palatyaga. So if he gives up even that, Shankara says that is palatyaga. Why does he do the karma? Purely for Ishvara Priti. This is Shraddha. He does not even care for Antakarna Shuddhi. Shastra has asked him to do this, and therefore he does it. He does not care whether it produces Antakarna Shuddhi or anything else. He does it to fulfill the Shastra's mandate, which is fulfilling Ishvara's mandate. That is enough. That kind of attitude, Shraddha, makes the Tyaga Satvika. So, I'll read this paragraph one more time, but I think it's pretty straightforward here. Then he presents the other stand. So the first one was Nitya Naitika Karma for Antakarna Shuddhi. Even though it produced the result, when you don't have the Sankalpa, then at one point. And the other stand is seemingly accepting this argument of akarane pratyavaya to make the same point. An uninformed person may do a karma thinking that even though the result for a nitya karma is not mentioned in the Shruti, still the nitya karma that is done creates the result for oneself of purification of the mind or removal of ill effects of not doing it. If he gives up even that, Shankara says that is palatyaga. Why does he do the karma? Purely for Ishwar Priti. This is Shraddha. He does not even care for Antakarna Shuddhi. Shastra has asked him to do this, and therefore he does it. He does not care whether it produces Antakarna Shuddhi or anything else. He does it to fulfill the Shastra mandate, which is fulfilling Ishvara's mandate. That is enough. That kind of attitude, Shraddha, makes the Tyaga Satvika. Whenever we perform the karma, we declare that we are praying for the sake of pleasing Ishvara through the destruction of all the effects of our wrong actions. Again, I'll read this line one more time. Whenever we perform the karma, we declare that we are praying for the sake of pleasing Ishvara through the destruction of all the effects of our wrong actions. We say it in so many words in the Sankalpa that is done at the beginning of a ritual. Mama upata samasta durita shaya dwara Shri Parameshwara Prityartham aham idam karishye. This is Karma Yoga. Pleasing the Lord is not to keep him in good humor, but purely to fulfill the mandate of the Ishvara. That is Ishvara Priti. Naturally, it is a means for purification of the mind because the Shastra accepts that Nitya Naimittika Karma as the capacity to neutralize accumulated papa. So I'll read the last line again. Naturally, it is a means for purification of the mind because of the Shastra accepts that Nitya Naimitika karma has the capacity to neutralize accumulated papa. Even the desire to neutralize the uh, accumulated purpose. Wait, 1 second. Sorry. Even the desire to neutralize the accumulated papa. Even to neutralize the accumulated papas can be given up. And one can do it only because one is asked to, and one can enjoy doing it. If you can do that, the result will certainly be there. Okay. I'll read this paragraph one more time. The last line is not very clear to me. So whenever we perform the karma, we declare that we are praying for the sake of pleasing Ishvara through the destruction of all the effects of our wrong actions. We say it in so many words in the Sankalpa that is done at the beginning of a ritual. Mama upata samasta durita shaya dwara Shri Parameshwara Prityartham aham idam karishye. This is Karma Yoga. Pleasing the Lord is not to keep him in good humor, but purely to fulfill the mandate of the Ishvara, that is Ishvara Priti. Naturally, it is a means for purification of the mind because the Shastra accept that Nitya Naimitika karma has the capacity to neutralize accumulated papa. Even the desire to neutralize the accumulated papas can be given up. And one can do it only because one is asked to, and one can enjoy doing it. If you can do that, the result will certainly be there. Okay. Shankara raises a small objection here. It was said in the beginning that the renunciation of action, which is sannyasa, is threefold. But as they have been described, two of them are karma tyaga, renunciation of karma, and one is palatyaga, the renunciation of the results of action. Two are karma sannyasa, and the third is karma yoga. How can these be classified together? Someone says 3 Brahmanas have come, but there are 2 Brahmanas who know the Vedas along with 6 auxiliary branches of the Vedas, Sadangas, and the third is a Kshatriya. How can he then say that there are 3 Brahmanas? Here too we have renunciation of karma out of delusion. Tamasatyaga, renunciation of karma out of fear of physical affliction. Rajasatyaga, and then renunciation of the result of action. Sorry, I'll go back here. Here too, we have renunciation of karma out of delusion is the Tamasatyaga, whereas renunciation of karma out of fear of physical affliction is the Rajasatyaga, and then renunciation of the result of action is Sattvika Tyaga. Two are renunciation of karma, whereas the third is renunciation of the result. Shankara says, this is not a problem because we are not talking about renunciation of karma. We are just talking about renunciation. renunciation being common in all of them, this amounts to praise of karma pala tyaga. So, renunciation being common in all of them, this amounts to praise of karma pala tyaga, because it is the one that is identified as sattvika. Renunciation born of delusion or out of fear of doing work. Okay. So renunciation born of delusion or out of fear of doing work was completely negated as tamasa and rajasa. And that type of characterization of renunciation serves as criticism, and then something else. Karma palatyaga is praised by calling it sattvika. The idea is it is better to keep doing karma and give up karma pala. Thereby you can gain antakarna shuddhi. Introducing the next verse, Shankara says that the person who does karma, giving up egotism and attachment for results, his mind being unsullied by longing for results, is purified by nitya karmas. Whatever raga and dvesha he may have had gets cleared. Also, by doing nitya karma and avoiding kamya karma, he does not get further entrenched in raga dvesha. The more kamya karmas you do, the more entrenched the raga dveshas become. So this is important here. The more kamya karmas you do, the more entrenched the raga dveshas become. By avoiding them and performing the nitya naimittika karmas with the proper attitude, his mind becomes subject to this process of purification and thus becomes pure. That mind now rendered cheerful, is qualified for the vision of Atma. That is, it is capable of Atma Anatma Viveka without any hindrance. The person who lives a life of Karma Yoga and is committed to knowledge of Atma of Moksha gains this Antakarana, which is more or less pure. For him, the clear knowledge of Atma takes place gradually. This has to be told, and thus Bhagavan says the next one. Shall I repeat any of the paragraphs? I know the last two are a lot of. Okay. This last paragraph kind of he going over the same thing, but then trying to give differentiation, which is why we call it as um, giving up karma versus giving up results of karma.
Two things are mentioned, no? Giving up the egotism and giving and that attachment, giving up that attachment for results.
Right.
So like usually we say, "Na, I did this." So we have to remember that we are not. It is He who is. We are just the medium. We are the instrument, and it is He. If I have a good voice, so it is because of His grace that I have this. So usually we say I. We always say I. So this I is to be removed, and it should be like done in that said in that fashion that It
Yeah,
is by his
it
grace that,
is.
yeah,
Yeah, it's there. There is actually that was told in the earlier paragraph. Like, this is to be done by me, or this is to
yeah.
be done. Like that kind of stuff, rather than I am doing this, right? That's why they're giving attachment to egotism. Uh, that was mentioned here. Yeah.
And whatever the
Therefore,
phala is,
yeah.
whatever
Therefore, I
phala
do
is
it.
there, yeah,
Yeah.
and whatever the karam phala is there,
Mm.
you should accept it as just like a prasada, whether it is favorable to you or unfavorable to you at that uh, uh,
But
point of
you
time.
you you give up the karma pala and sattvika tyaga. So you give up the results of the action.
Yeah, so you have to accept, no, the whatever the phala will come when you have
It
doing
will
that
come. Yeah.
action.
It will come. But if you're doing it for antakarna shuddhi, and then even that pala, actually, there are several things mentioned here. One is when you do the nitya naimitika karmas, as per the sattvic yaga, where it neutralizes your papas. I mean, that's also mentioned, right? One
Yeah,
is it the pala could be punya, but the other one is it said that it will neutralize the papas.
yeah,
And
two things were there. No, one is like if some people do some maybe some it is like some objectionable work, so they will for undone for like for doing that they will have that guilt in them, and then they will give some charity or dana or that. So that way your antakarana is not to be purified. It is only when that you are doing your karma with literally a that that consciousness is absolutely clear. You don't have nothing, you don't have anything in mind. It is like just this work is to be done and it is to be done by me, so I am doing it. Only this thing, if it remains, nothing is backing up, then that antakarna shuddhi will be happening. Otherwise, if you think that, oh, I did this, so now I should neutralize, so I will keep fast, or I will do some dana, or I will help somebody so that my this work is whatever I did, my this action is undone. So that will not happen, because uh, the law of the nature is whatever you do, you will get the result. So if you
yeah,
did punya, you will get punya. Papa, if you did, you will get the same
yeah.
outcome. So
Going back, what is tamasika tyaga? I mean, actually, for sannyasa, they have threefold trivida, right? That's what they explaining, three types of renunciation. One is that tamasika tyaga, the second one is rajasika tyaga, and the third one is satvika tyaga. The tamasika tyaga is out of delusion that people give up the nitya naimitika karmas. They not to be done. That is considered tamasika tyaga. And renunciation of karmas out of delusion. And the rajasika karma is tyaga is out of fear that some affliction to the physical body, that it's going to hurt, like getting up early in the morning is not going to good for the body or something like that, so they don't want to do it. That is rajasika tyaga.
tamasic may, if you the delusion, it includes like nahi, nahi pe. So
Out of
delusion is,
laziness. Out of
yeah,
laziness.
delusion, it means like you have out of moha, just it is mentioned, no, out of moha and some fascination or romanticism about. Like it is like further, if someone can explain that the delusion, that moha, it is in a way that you two things may be there, no,
It is
either you are fascinated by sannyasa or you are not doing at all. But tyaga, if the tamasic tyaga is there, so but the person is into some spiritual practice, but it is because of some attachment somewhere, that he's performing an action which will not help him to lead anywhere. Like neither it will purify his antakarna, nor neither it will neither he will gain some punya. So whatever he is doing is just a selfish motive. So that is, though he is doing, it is called tyaga, but he will not uh, gain anything out of it, or he will gain. I just had this confusion. Will he gain
the
something?
Rajasika Tyaga, then they won't gain anything. But here, out of likes and dislike, they do something, or then that that sannyasa is not proper. That's what it's mentioned here. That it's
Yeah,
not
but
going to cause him a
will he gain
purification.
something? Though he is doing some tyaga, so will he gain something, or he will not gain anything? This is my question. Like, though
Yeah,
it's called tyaga.
uh,
Results will be there, I think. Some results will be there. Even if he is even if he is out of delusion, he is leaving the karma, that doing the tyaga. He will incur. Every action has some result, no?
Results, yeah. So he will gain some punya at least, but he will not have that antakarna shuddhi.
so
I
basically,
think.
in Tamasika Tyaga, I feel that what is told by the Shastra, the enjoined action may not be performed by this person, but he may be performing something out of Raga
Nitya
Dvesha.
Naimitya Karma. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's doing that. Out of
Right,
some selfish motive, he's doing.
right. That's when then they don't gain much, except he may not gain the purification like Vantakarna Shuddhi, but then he may have some papa punya according to what karma he does with that, with the likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Again, Dr.
Here,
Brahma, maybe can shed some
they
evidence.
do not
Yeah.
do it. Here they do not do it.
Hello.
Tamasikataga
Mm.
of without anything, means under the, see here, because
Yengu,
they are desirable for purification. If someone who ignorant gives up this nitya karma under the self of I don't like it, I don't want to get say raga dvesha, that sannyasa is not proper. You don't get anything. You are just postponing you are just leaving it.
That
You
is
don't get
rajasic. That is rajasic.
no, tamasa tyaga. See, it's written, no? If someone who is ignorant gives up this nitya karma under the spell of likes and dislike, raga dveshas, they don't do it. And they think that I am giving up, I am sannyasi. He doesn't gain anything. He's just fooling himself. He
Yeah,
thinks that
Gurudev.
he has, yes.
Yeah, there are three types of sannyas. This is talking. They're talking about tyaga. This is not talking about sannyas,
Sannyasa life. Yeah.
giving up nitya naimitika karmas. They're talking about a person, a karmi, who is supposed to be doing nitya naimitika karmas according to Shastra. But even in that, there is tyagam, right? That is in the beginning itself. Arjuna had asked, "What is sannyasa? What is tyaga?" So tyaga, as described by Bhagavan is karma phalatyaga. That is what is the Bhagavan's import. But even in that tyaga, there are three different types. One is tamasa, rajasa, and satvika. So the tamasika tyaga is the person does not even do, like Sureshji rightly pointed out of moha. He's so completely deluded that all he does is actions which are driven by his raga dveshas. So he's not number one, he's not doing Shastra Vihita karma. He's not doing his Nitya Naimitika karma. All he does is he's so deluded by his Raga Dveshas that he just does the action according to his likes and dislikes. So, in a sense, there is the Tyaga of doing the Nitya Naimitika karmas. So, that is Tamasika Tyaga. That's the bottom last rung of that. It is the the bottommost of the tyagas. The second one is Rajasika Tyaga. Here he knows that he has to do it. This person has a bit of knowledge, but then he is still under the deluge of saying, oh, if I do it out of fear of bodily affliction, oh, if I get up early in the morning, if I don't get my 8 hours of sleep, it'll affect my body. So his value is more towards body driven rather than wanting to do what is Shastra Vihita karma. So then he gives up doing Nityanayamitika karmas, that is Rajasika Tyaga, out of fear of bodily affliction. Whereas the Satvika Tyaga is Karya Mityeva Yat Karma. This has to be done. It will be done. Plus, he gives up even the results of the action. He's not even interested. Even in the Satvika, you have people who do it maybe for Antakarna Shuddhi, but that is a given. If you do your Nitya Naimitika karmas without any desire for the end, the Antakarna Shuddhi anyway happens. But the highest form of Karma Phalatyaga is even that Antakarna Shuddhi, I am not interested. I am just doing it because for Ishvara Preeti. Ishvara Preetyartham. I am just doing it because it has to be done. Whether I get Antakarna Shuddhi or
Can
not.
you please explain that the Sangalpa that Mama something
Yeah.
that we
Mama
read?
Durita Kaya Dwara.
What is
Ishvara,
that?
yeah,
I
that.
done. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it is, we all have an accumulation of papa, isn't it? So that for Ishvara Preetyartham, I'm just doing it for even that. I mean, I honestly don't remember the exact word. Just let me read that part. Whenever we perform the karma, we declare that we're praying for the sake of, through the destruction of all the effects of our wrong actions. Yeah.
I think this is Bhakti Yoga.
Because the Shastra accepts that Nitya Naimitika karma has the capacity to neutralize accumulated papa. See, we're just mentioning it. But even that desire to neutralize the papa or get antakarna shuddhi is not there in the karma phala tyaga, satvika tyaga. It will happen, no doubt, as an effect of, because every karma has an effect. The effect of doing your nitya naimitika karmas without any kamya, without any desire, will of course neutralize your accumulated papas. At the same time, bring in antakarna shuddhi. But the highest form of karma phala tyaga, the satvika tyaga, is even that you're not interested in. It is a byproduct. It happens, let it happen. I am just doing it out of pure joy for Ishvara Preeti. Because
Brahmanaji,
the
the
mandate.
example is given there, three Brahmanas. You can explain that also.
Yeah, actually, we need to read that one more time. I didn't, because here the thing is, the first two tyagas, the Rajasika and Tamasika tyaga, they are not even doing the Nitya Naimitika karmas. So how can you compare? Whereas in the Satvika Tyaga, he is doing it. The Tyaga is only karma phala Tyaga. So there was an objection raised as to how can you compare these three. I think in that
He is
Shankara said,
karma yogi, and he is
yeah,
renouncing the fruit only.
correct.
Phalat.
So what Shankara says is, yes, you can, because you can compare, because what you're talking of is renunciation there. So the first two P categories, they're renouncing the action itself. Whereas in the last category, the Sattvika category, the karma is done, but the result is renounced. So if you look at that renunciation, you can, of course, compare all the three. But that example of the Brahmanas, I didn't quite get the full import.
One thing I wanted to know, like this is we
I'll
are
read it
studying the
again.
Tyaga, the Tyaga, Sannyasa and Tyaga. So are this Tyaga, is it related to the person who is on the path of this self journey, or is it a common person? This confusion is still there. Like
I think it's
In
included.
Satvika
Common
Tyaga, he had given 2-3 different types, right? One is, sorry,
no,
Dr. Ramana.
whole the tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic Tyaga. We are speaking of whom? Who is the
Karma yogi.
subject here?
Karma yogi.
Not karma yogi. Karma yogi is
Sannyasik, yeah.
There are three types of
Sun-
bhaktas
sun-
also, na? 4 types of bhaktas also. So
No,
that
but here I think we are talking of the sannyasis who are in this.
sannyasa is getting described here. What is sannyasa? Not
no.
sannyasa.
We're not. No, I think we should be clear about this. We are
Hmm.
not talking about sannyasis. Sannyasi is one who gives up nitya naimitika karmas for just the pursuing of in pursuit of knowledge.
That
What
is a
what
true
Krishna is
sannyasi.
talking about.
Yeah.
If you
Okay,
can
let
go back
me.
to the,
He's talking about tyaga.
he's talking about
Yeah, but
Okay, let me read this one
there is a
paragraph.
slight confusion here. Yeah.
Yeah, we read about Tyaga, then he went to Trivida, right? Trivida. Tyagapala.
And why they are talking of three brahmanas? I was thinking that.
Okay, let me finish reading this whole paragraph and then we can go over it. Shankara raises a small objection here. It was said in the beginning that the renunciation of action, which is sannyasa, is threefold. But as they have been described, two of them are karma tyaga, renunciation of karma, and one is phala tyaga, the renunciation of the results of action. Two are karma sannyasa, that means the renunciation of karma. So the karma sannyasa, they are not sarva karma sannyasa, they're just karma sannyasa. And the third one is the karma yoga, because you do the palatyaga. How can these be classified together? So one is, so how can you say this all in the three different threefold tyaga? So that's what the question here. Someone says 3 brahmanas have come. So he is explaining that 3 brahmanas have come, but there are 2 brahmanas who knows Vedas along with 6 auxiliary branches of Vedas, Sadangas. And the third is the Kshatriya. So here 2 brahmana, but why they call him 3 brahmanas? But actually that only 2 brahmanas, and the third one is Kshatriya. How can he then say that there are 3 brahmanas? Here too we have renunciation of karma. So what is Kshatriya's dharma, his job, right? He probably renunciation of the karma out of delusion. So here too we have renunciation of karma out of delusion, tamasa tyaga, renunciation of karma out of fear of physical affliction, rajasa tyaga, and then renunciation of the result of action, satvika tyaga. Two are renunciation of karma, whereas the third is renunciation of result. Sankara says this is not a problem because we are not talking about renunciation of karma, we are just talking about renunciation. So, renunciation being common in all of them, this amounts to praise of karma pala tyaga because it is the one that is identified as sattvika. Renunciation born of delusion or out of fear of doing work was completely negated as tamasa and rajasa. This type of characterization of renunciation serves as criticism, and then something else, karma pala tyaga, is praised by calling it sattvika. The idea is it's better to keep doing karma and give up karma pala. Thereby you can gain antakarna shuddhi. In terms of this brahmanas, it was, I don't know, it abruptly, I don't know, it stopped. So here it says three
Kshatriya
brahmanas.
does something different. He doesn't go into that depth of shadangas and all. He only fights. Kshatriya or the is known as a fighter. Means, and others are doing the different things. Two brahmanas.
Thing is, see, the two brahmanas are not fighting, right?
Right.
The kshatriya is doing action. So here, the first two, in this analogy, the first two will be considered as tamasika and rajasika. The kshatriya is the one who is actually doing his action. So
He
the
fights for
satvika
everything
tyaga,
and do that.
yeah, the satvika tyaga is what he is doing it. He is doing the nitya naimitika karmas. The first two are not even doing it. So here we are talking of not the sannyasi. We should be clear in our mind that there are two lifestyles, right? One is the sannyasa, and the second is karma yoga. This is
One thing,
pertaining to the
one
second
thing,
lifestyle.
just one thing, Dr. Brahmra, the
Hmm.
line which starts, no, the Shankara raises a small objection here. So it was said in the beginning that the renunciation of action, which is sannyasa, is threefold. I am getting confused by this. Like we are reading this all the tyagas related to the renunciation of action, which Shankara is describing as in a form of sannyasa. Like sannyasa can be complete sarva karma sannyasis. Those are the ones that are true sannyasis. But here, like the sannyasa, which in respect to renunciation of action, when
Is it
renunciation of
then
action is
Vividisha
happening,
sannyasa?
yeah, this is in relation to renunciation of action, and that renunciation of action is been described into three: tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic. So that this confusion I am having. Is it?
Yeah.
It
And
is
the
not
So,
for.
sannyasi will be tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic. No. So this is only related to the actions who are on the path.
But
see, I'll
but
tell you. Number
renunciation.
one,
Who will
for
renounce? No, the
sannyasa,
renunciation.
in the lifestyle of sannyasa, there is um, he does not even need to do nitya naimitika karma. So we are not even that doesn't come into this perspective at all. That is a separate set. We're not talking of vividisha sannyasa, we're not talking of vidvat sannyasa. We're talking of tyaga over here. In the very beginning, Arjuna had the question, what is sannyasa, what is tyaga? And then in the train of the shlokas, if you see, I will just go through the shlokas once.
Jai Gurudev Brahmra, I think it is to do with the Vividisha sannyasa who give up without knowing what they are going through.
Yeah,
No,
the like
no,
unknowledgeable
because then the
does not
satvika,
happen.
category, they're doing,
Hmm.
no, doing nitya naimitika karma. So how does we're not even talking of the sannyasa lifestyle here.
Yeah, I think then
You-
in that case, what I felt like somebody was mentioning, it is only talked about the tyaga. It is nothing to do with either sannyasa, or if at all, it is Vividisha sannyasa and karma yogi. They have talked about the tyaga of these two people. People who go on to the path of sannyasa without proper preparation, they have this tyaga, the two brahmanas which have been talked about, and the kshatriya is karma yogi. This is what I understand.
Yeah, I also understood in this way only what you were saying. Like we are talking of renunciation of the enjoined action, and that action, some people leave it just because they want to, like they just
You're not audible, or maybe my internet.
No, not
Yeah,
audible
she
for
was
me
not
also.
audible.
Yeah. You're maybe unmuted, muted. Not sure.
Sorry, what do you need, Dr. Brahmara?
No,
Let
no,
me
Dr.
open the
Kavita
door.
was saying something and she went off. Couldn't
Oh,
hear.
you I wanted to say, like I think Mrinal ji was saying this, the sannyasis who are not prepared and they want to take up sannyasa, so they do not have the complete knowledge, they will perform this tamasic tyaga with in delusion, like they will be acting. And this is we are talking about the renunciation of the enjoined action, and which is not proper for them. So they, all these are they, like the renunciation is there,
okay.
but it is not proper.
We don't want to get confused here only because in the very beginning there are two different things was told, right? One is sannyasa and the one is the tyaga. He was asking what is the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. So sannyasa is the renunciation of actions. The tyaga is the results of renunciation of results of the action. So under that results of the action, the tyaga is, I think, is explained as trivida,
Yes.
threefold tyaga. So that
That,
that
Yes.
under that tyaga, you have a tamasic tyaga, this tyaga and that tyaga. I mean, meaning rajasic and sattvic. So
correct.
don't get confused with the sannyasa and the tyaga, please.
Yeah, that's right.
That is the difference we are trying to make here.
The
Correct.
definition of tyaga was definition was like you nitya naimitya karma,
No,
karma
wait.
done
The
for
definition of
antakarna.
tyaga is renunciation of results of action. Okay, that
But
means
second
any
definition was
karma, any karma that you do, you're going to have a result. So when you give up that attachment, give up the results of action, that is called tyaga. That is the one we call tyaga, right? I mean, that's what we read
but
in the earlier
one line
verse.
was also mentioned, Dr. Mara,
Hmm.
that like nitya naimitya karma done purely for antakarna shuddhi is also called tyaga. That
Right.
also we
That is
yeah.
also tyaga because you are doing it, you are not taking the fruits of the karma, the pala of the karma. Any karma creates a karma pala. That karma pala tyaga is otherwise known as tyaga. That karma yoga also. We read that several
Yeah.
times, we
Yeah.
So
yesterday.
can I just
So
go back to the, sorry, can I just go back to the shlokas? In the train of shlokas, we need to get this understanding based on the context in which it is being said.
exactly,
So,
that's what I
Yeah,
want to
Arjuna
know.
exactly,
Vacha,
Pramara. I think we should do that.
Sannyasasya Mahabaho, Tattvamichhami Veditum, Tyagasya cha Hrishikesha, Pratakeshini Shudana. So that was Arjuna's question. To that, Bhagwan replies, Kam Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam, Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu, Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam, prahustyagam vichakshanaha. So the first thing was kamyanam karmanam nyasam. The one who gives up all kamya karmas is according to one group of people. They think that is sannyasa. The other one says sarva karma phalatyagam prahustyagam vichak. So the other says no, sarva karma phalatyaga is tyaga. Now tyajyam doshavadityeke karma prahurmanishinaha yajna dana tapah karma natyajamiti chapare. So one set of people says this Bhagwan is giving the opinion of different sets of people, and in the end he'll give his opinion. So one set of people say that because any karma is dosha, it has the dosha, it causes punya papa and brings you back into the karma cycle, it has to be given up. But there is another set of people that says yajna dana tapa karma should never be given up. Now nischayam shrunu me tatra त्यागे भरत सत्तमा त्यागो हि पुरुष व्याघ्र त्रिविध संप्रकीर्तितः. So now listen, he says, Arjuna, listen, shrunu me tatra tyage bharata sattama. He's talking of tyaga. He's not talking of sannyasa here. He's talking of tyaga. Trividha samprakirti. There are three types of this tyaga. Yajna dana tapah karma natyajam karyameva tat yajno danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishina. He's reiterating, he says yajna dana tapah karma have to be done because they have this effect of purifying the person. एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्. He says, what my opinion is that they have to be done, but giving up the attachment to them, attachment to the karma as well as the phala. नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागः तामसः परिकीर्तितः. So in this train he's talking of only tyaga. So he says niyatasya tu sannyasah karmano nopapad. Mohat, out of delusion they give up because they're so caught up in raga dveshas. They're giving up doing what? Doing the nitya naimitika karma. So we are not talking of sannyasa here. We're talking of common person who, because of the delusion of ignorance, and they're so caught up in their raga dveshas, they give up doing the nitya yajna dana tapak karma. They give up. They don't do. That is the tamasa tyaga. Then dukkha mityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat yajet sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyagam tyaga phalam labhet. And then there's another set, the rajasic ones. They know they have to do it. See, we're not talking of sannyasa here. We're talking of common person who knows he has to do the shastra vihita karma, but he is so caught up in his bodily concern that he says, oh, if I do this, if I get up in the morning, it's going to affect my health. It will affect my body. Therefore, I will not do it. So he will not get the benefit of the tyaga of.
Instead of doing it, I will sleep 1 hour more.
Yes. Then karya mityeva yat karma niyatam kriyaterjuna sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva satyaga satviko matah. Now he says karya mityev, that it has to be done. This is the Shastra's verdict. I will do it, come what may. I will do it. That, and then sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. He is giving up the attachment to the karma itself as well as the result of the action, but he continues to do it. So here we're clearly talking of a non-sannyasi. We're talking of a person who has taken up the lifestyle of karma. And then, did we do the 10th one? We've not done the 10th yet, right? We just stopped
Brahmaraji,
with the
these are the for only
No,
actions.
we
Yajna,
haven't done
tapa,
it
and
yet.
dana. This is related
Correct.
to yajna, tapa, dana.
Yajna, dana, tapa, karma. Yes.
Yeah.
So the sannyasi, of the two lifestyles, the sannyasi is exempt from doing yajna, dana, tapa, karma. So we are not bringing him back into this trividha tyaga here. So that one,
Yeah.
that
You
separate set
remember,
altogether.
the other day you mentioned that you wanted to do this difference between sannyas and we should do it. That way we'll be more
Put
clear.
those tabular
Yeah.
columns.
Because
difference.
sannyasa is sarva karma sannyasa and the knowledge. That is only thing about sannyasa. But whereas Tyaga, like Bhagavan Krishna is mentioned in some places with sannyasa, then we have to understand that was in the context, like you mentioned.
Yeah, in that context,
Yeah.
the sannyasa is
Mm.
mentioned, no doubt, Dr. Savita. In the
Yeah.
beginning, it's mentioned sannyasa, but that sannyasa is the meaning of the sannyasa is what we need to get, not the lifestyle sannyasa. No. So anything you give up. Here, the tamasika and rajasika people are giving up doing the karma itself. But they are nicely caught up in their own either delusion or
The physical of kaya klesha bayat bhavat or something, right? Kaya klesha bayat.
we'll get some clarification. I'll check up with
Yeah,
Nana.
check with that
We'll
also
need
good.
to reach out and get some clarification when we are having such a, kind of
Jai
lack of
Gurudev, I
clarity.
think you are right, Brahmaraj. I mean, that was the right explanation, I feel. I've talked generally about the Tyaga, about the common person, yes.
After some time, he comes back to sannyasa part, I think. But right now, we are talking that
Krishna is the most cheeky guy ever. He
And
brings in
sannyasi,
so many
sannyasi
twists
is
and turns.
sannyasi. Brahmaraji, sannyasi is sannyasi. There is no sattvic, rasic, tamasic, like he is sattvic only. And he doesn't require to do
among
the actions
sannyasis,
also.
no. Among sannyasis, there are those dambachara, mithyachara sannyasis who just for the sake of giving up action, they give up action, but they're still caught up in their mind. That is that is different altogether.
That is Vimudha. That is Vimudha, means hypocrite, not sannyasi.
Yeah. So that is there, but here it is.
And the Sattvic Tyaga, he's the person who is on the path of Karma Yoga.
Yes. Sattvika is Karma Yogi. He is the true Karma Yogi.
One way we can say also like this, no, Brahmaraji, that sannyasi is Jivan Mukta also, who has left and who has cleared Antakarana and everything he has controlled senses and everything. So he doesn't have any afflictions to anything in the world. And he is doing everything just for the Ishvara Priti, even if seva is being done by him, isn't it?
Yeah,
As
that is
I
sannyas.
don't think so. I don't think so, Sarlaji. See, path when they are saying so, two different paths. That doesn't means you become sannyasi. That doesn't imply that you are already jivan mukta. It's in the process. They are the paths which are chosen depending on your tendencies and all. But still, the process is on even for sannyasis. Maybe the percentage of Jivan
correct.
Muktas there will be higher, but this is the only path you have chosen to reach the goal.
Right.
That's
Among
what
the
I
Thank
think.
sannyasis also, there is Vidvat sannyasa and Vividisha sannyasa. Vividisha sannyasa is still hasn't attained that self-realization. He gives up all the Nitya Naimitika karmas and he is still on the path. Whereas the Vidvat sannyasa is what Sarlaji has explained, is a Jnani. He is a Jivan Mukta. So even amongst the sannyasis, there are two categories. So here we're talking of Tyaga, which is of these three types. And I think if it's 20, yeah.
So we have 10 minutes. So do you want to? I mean, I know
Yeah, I think we can
Dr.
go to the next
Brahmaraj,
shloka.
you could check with the Nana and clarify it for her.
Yeah,
And
I'll certainly
I
do
think,
that.
yeah, that'd be nice. Thank you. So
We
you
can
want me
go
to
to
do
the,
this 10th sloka or sure?
yeah,
Brahmaraji, can we have a session with Nanaji on
yeah,
sannyasa, tyaga, and all these
we'll-
things? So clarity will come.
no problem. I will check
Yeah,
with him.
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
The beautiful thing about this ninth shloka that Swamiji has mentioned is, I had this doubt yesterday when we were reading about antakarna shuddhi. But even karma for antakarna shuddhi is also a kamya karma, so to say. I mean, it's a desire you're having. Oh, if I do this, I'm going to get antakarna shuddhi. So here, Swamiji is very beautifully described. Even that is dropped. He's just doing it for Ishvara Preeti.
Yeah.
Because it has to be done.
Done.
Whether
That
it
is
comes or not, he's not even worried about it. He's the highest form of a devotee.
that is
Second,
bhakti. That is bhakti
Yeah.
mostly.
And
So,
even that Dhamma, they say na Shama Dhamma Shat Sanpatti, that Dhamma and Tyaga, these two are also, I think, they have different in deep meanings. That also we need to clarify. Shama Dhamma Shat Sampatti, where the Dhamma is where you have to control your all senses,
yeah.
wherever the attractions are there. And Tyaga is something different. And even dispassion is again a third dimension. I think we need to sit with Nanaji to get very clear.
but see,
Different.
Madhuri ji, all these come in for this, the Karma Yogi who is doing his Nitya Naimitika karmas. All of them come in. If you do not have Shama, if you do not have Dhamma, if you do not control over your sleep and your senses, you will not get up in the morning. Plus,
Correct.
So all these are there. And there is an element of dispassion as well. He is dispassionate towards, unlike the Rajasic person who is worried about his body and his sleep and things like that. This person has a say over his, is dispassionate about it. So they're all actually, they come together in the practice of Karma Yoga. And he gives up. He gives up karma phala tyaga. So he is not going with his raga dvesha. He is just going with what is to be done. And this is according to the Shastra Vihita Karma, Nitya Naimitika Karmas. But I think in somewhere where we read either yesterday or in this thing, this includes both scripturally ordained karma as well as your transactional karma, your the secular karma, your day-to-day karma.
And
So it is
Brahmaraji,
not
there
just
is
about Nitya Naimitika karma, it is also what we have on a daily
That
basis,
means
based on
it
our
is we
duties.
are describing Karma Yogi, right? We are
Yeah,
describing Karma Yogi.
yeah.
Yeah, and
What
Brahmaraji, there was one sentence also, who is ill, he can also not do the karma that time. So he is also tyaging, he is also not doing the karma that time. So one uh, um, option,
this
it's so much
10th
of hidden
sloka,
tendencies. If prana
excuse
level is
me,
low and you are not able to do it, that is a very different thing. But hidden tendencies and ichhas and vasanas are there. No, sick person or the prana is very low. That doesn't
yeah.
mean that.
So that time it
So,
is said, no, he will not acquire any punya or papa, because it is allowed when he is sick to not do.
that 10th sloka pretty much a summary of, I think, this Tyaga thing. But
Because
it
Karma
is 5
Yogi can be
pages.
sick sometime.
5 pages, so I don't think we can read now.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
5
do that
minutes only.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And maybe we can all reflect on what we have learned, go through
Yeah.
the text one more time, reread it one more time on our own, or listen to the the recording, and then tomorrow we'll come back and we'll check that clarity that we get.
That's right. Like all the 9 slokas so far we read, we could read it and then see how we can have my understanding of it.
Okay.
Should what do you like to?
We'll wind up today.
Yeah.
What do you like to reflect on today? I was thinking we will do the Nirvana Shatakam. It's quite long. Jagovindam
takes long. Yeah.
a long time.
You go ahead and do the Shanti Patta. Let me go ahead.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
And looked at all the quick permitting companies, and Abodu was the only
न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न च प्राणसंज्ञो न त्वयि पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोश न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्तपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदोर्नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञ अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धो न मित्रं गुरो नैव शिष्य चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभुत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च सङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेया चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहं